What is perfectly legal, but creepy as hell? I swear to God. I did a lot of work in hospitals for a while, big fucking hospitals with tons of bathrooms all over the place. For some goddamned reason, regardless of what time or bathroom I selected to take a shit in, not 30 seconds after I sat down a janitor would knock on the door to clean the bathroom. It's not as if it was one janitor, just some random janitor would inevitably need to clean whatever bathroom I was in as soon as I got comfy. It's like I was being stalked by the janitors. So now I'm trying to take a shit knowing full well there's somebody out there actively timing how long it takes. In some states, it's actually legal to take upskirt pictures with your smartphone, as long as they are wearing panties. Super creepy as hell. I only know this because a judge ruled a guy innocent for doing just that because of a law that was worded a certain way. No clue if the law has changed to include upskirt pics. I like bananas. I eat them a lot at work with lunch. In the military, I learned that when eating a banana, it's okay if you bring the banana to your face. Not the other way around. Go ahead, try it. Bonus points if you make eye contact with someone while your mouth is slightly open with the banana headed for it. Never gets old. Sure. September, October, Halloween got you cover. November, December, add Santa hats to them. January, February, make them cupids with wings and bows. March, April, Easterize them with flower crowns. May, Mother's Day, hang them in pairs, big doll with small doll. June, July, give them American flags. August, ignore the whole letter. Repeat. Yeah, but the really don't want to admit my dad's injuries are from 20 years of literally back-breaking labor. They already sent us some supposedly detrimental footage of my dad going to the store or getting gas. It was extremely disturbing to see that footage and realize what's happening. However, even yesterday we saw the same car parked outside. Though you could have some fun with it. Get a t-shirt made that says I'm being followed by a pervert with a camera. Ask him why. Or get your own camera and sit behind his car in a lawn chair with a big sign that says volunteer pedophile monitoring team. I downvote every TikTok video I see where some parent is pranking their toddler. No, you're not smarter than a 3-year-old, you're just an asshole. On Reddit. I don't do ticker-talker. Was just talking about this with my wife earlier. Pranking your own kid is a bullshit move. They trust you and count on you as their caretaker. Why would someone just violate that trust? I mean, I know why. For the fucking social media clout. But at what cost to those poor kids? They'll never be able to trust anyone. It's technically legal to check if a door is locked, as long as you don't enter without permission. Edit. Depending on where you live, this could apply to both houses and cars. Edit. You won't find any laws permitting this activity, but laws associated with it are generally based on circumstantial evidence or rely on proving the suspect's intent. An arrest may be likely, but proving intent is difficult, and charges might not stick. Results may vary in your precinct. Super not fun fact, Richard Chase, a spree killer / necrophile / cannibal, thought he was some sort of a vampire. When he went on his horrific killing spree, the victims were determined by whether or not their doors were locked. If it was unlocked, he considered it an invitation inside, and since he was a vampire, he was allowed to enter. His crimes were particularly brutal, and it's crazy to think that something as simple as locking your door was the difference between him walking away or drinking your blood. ETA, correction, he didn't think he was a vampire. He was a paranoid schizophrenic that thought he needed more blood and also happened to follow the invited vampire lore. I live in a pretty low-crime neighborhood, and hooligans still walk up and down the street checking all the car doors pretty regularly. The local PD puts out PSAs about this constantly, which have been getting increasingly frustrated in tone as the months go by. I half expect the next one to straight up say, if you leave your car unlocked and someone lifts your shit, we can do fuck all about it. Edit. Yes, y'all, I know theft is a crime. Please stop telling me. This one hits close to home. A good friend of mine lives in a major East Coast city. As a single woman, she is extra cautious. She was the victim of a known local Instagram celebrity this weekend. Basically, this guy follows people, guys and girls, around and records them. When they get annoyed and tell him to stop, he gets more and more obnoxious, trying to get a reaction. He is careful not to cross the legal line for stalking, etc., and does it in public, so be expectation of privacy. He then posts the inevitable freak out online. I'm not going to share the page, my friend made the cut, because I don't want to grace this troll with the page views. I googled whatever happened to Bunt Gang. It made me more certain than ever that violence is in fact sometimes the answer. Face covered in tattoos and acting like a fool, then one dude breaks his jaw for talking shit. He spends a few months drinking through a straw with his jaw wired shut. Now he wears khakis and turtleneck sweaters. Goes by David or whatever his mama named him. All he needed was someone to fuck him up good enough to think twice about what he is up to. Yep. I live in a college town, and there's two evangelical men who have come to the free speech area of the student union for years, probably over a decade now, and they film themselves calling all the girls who walk by whores and generally insult other people walking by too. Real vile shit. They also hang around football games and do the same. Their aim is to get attention and get harmed so they can sue people. Depending on the state, they could be breaking a law. These people love to think they are one step if the law and that they are untouchable. When I was in college, we had a group of people come do this, and they did it every year till someone apparently got something that was illegal. Not sure what it was, but there are rumors that they crossed onto school property. This was a private college, while harassing someone, and another was they said something that crossed into assault. Sifting through someone else's garbage bins. Cops and collection agencies do it all the time to gather evidence. It's perfectly legal, as the bins are on the street, which is public. You can even turn it around and do it to the cops. They'll still try and throw the book at you, of course, but it's legal and the courts have ruled as such. Update: this got popular, so it's CYA time. Please check your state's laws on this beforehand. They're all different, and some might supersede the SCOTUS ruling mentioned by /u/AdamBay_the_gorilla. Actually learned a SCOTUS case about this in my government class. It was a local case, but went all the way up to the federal Supreme Court. They ruled that if the kin was in the guy's lawn, then it would have been an unconstitutional search, oddly enough. So, if your kin is on your land, it can't be searched. If it's on the side of the road for garbage night, it can be searched by anyone. I can go put up a camera with a giant lens and set it up to take pictures every 30 seconds while pointed at a popular playground full of children, while I also fly a drone taking pictures of the same playground. The act of taking pictures in public is not illegal, even if the subject doesn't want their picture taken. It's how the photos are used that determines if permission is needed. And as long as I'm using it for my own weird, creepy personal reasons rather than trying to publish a book of them or put them in a movie, then it's not illegal. Of course, this only applies in Canada and the US. Other countries may have different privacy laws, and you do need the appropriate drone license. But I could still do it all day every day. Uploading your kid's life onto Facebook for strangers to view before the kid even knows what the internet is. Edit. Remember how when you first started using the internet, there was no trace of you. You didn't exist online. The power was in our hands to create our digital footprint. We could expose as much or as little as we want, and we still can. That classic scene where your parents take out the old baby pictures to embarrass you in front of your new partner literally won't be a thing anymore. Imagine logging online for the first time to find more pictures of you growing up than you've ever seen before, and realizing people you don't know have had access to them for years, commenting on them and liking them. Your parents' old friends that they haven't spoke to in 10 years and have never met you. Yet I used to be a nanny for one of these people. I called her an Insta mommy. She's actually pretty popular. Her child was an accessory though. This child wasn't even 2 and probably had 1000s on pictures on Instagram. Not just a typical baby picture either. Pictures of the kid breastfeeding, in a bath, getting her diaper changed, cuddling naked with her mommy. I work in childcare and even I found some of them weird. Pay was great. Job was terrible. I loved the baby but it was brutal. You would think this mom was perfect if you followed her on Instagram. Reality. I was there 12+ hours a day. If the baby pooped, she was handed off to me. If she cried, she was handed off to me. It's honestly so creepy. I don't understand at all why it happens. They are tiny. They don't even know what dating is, but as soon as they actually start getting crushes, the parents get mad and are like, you can't date until you're this old, but I'll still say you'll look good with this person. How does that make any sense? This ruined so many friendships and bonds for me when I was a kid. I had a friend who was a boy. Oh, your boyfriend is coming over today. Son of a family friend who is a few years older but makes an effort to include me and be decent to me. Oh, do you fancy him? Like she wouldn't joke about it once or twice, it would be never ending after any exchange, and in the end it mortified me so much that I'd get really awkward around whoever it was and just stop interacting with them because of it. It's not funny. It's just exhausting and ruins what could have been a sweet and innocent friendship for the kid. Thankfully it was one-sided, but my neighbor said that her daughter and I should date when we are older. She still continues to say how good we would be together and stuff, and that I would be a good man for her. I told both my parents about it and thankfully they're not gonna do that forced marriage BS. I still don't get how my neighbors haven't gotten the message that I'm not interested in her daughter. This all happened after knowing them for like an hour. She just automatically decided that I was the perfect guy. A grown man giving expensive gifts to a teenage girl he's not related to or particularly close to. I came across this ask after reading a post where a woman said her husband gave their neighbor's daughter a $300 bracelet without discussing it with her, and the vibes were super creepy. Technically not illegal, but hella pedo vibes there. Edit. The price was $300, not $3,000, though still creepy. Anyone wanting to read the story, someone posted a link below. One of the janitors that used to work at the hospital I work at years ago would give young transport guys, ages around 19, random expensive gift. I'm taking watches, TVs, shit like that. Got fired because someone found out the dude wasn't allowed to be around children. The hospital has a pediatric wing and someone felt sorry enough for this piece of shit and skirted the hiring laws and got the felon a job. Well, too fucking bad, because his ass got fired when the right people found out. That classic scene from American movies where a group of high schoolers raise money by washing cars in bikinis. Seems like a pervert magnet. Edit. This is just bringing me more questions. No one raised hell if a girl ended up being harassed? Were parents or maybe cops assigned to at least look after these minors? What did the press say? This seems like the perfect base for a moral panic. You can find your town's unpaid property tax registry fairly easy by looking on your town's website. To explain this very simply, you can cover other people's property taxes. This gives them two options. 1, they reimburse you for the money you fronted for their property taxes, or 2, the property reaches a deadline where if the property owner hasn't paid you back for the money you fronted, you become the legal owner of the property because you have paid the property taxes. You could essentially buy a property worth $80,000, example, by only putting down a few $100,000 in property tax fees. You either make all your money back when the original property owner pays you for the money you fronted, or you put a few $100,000 down and get a property worth a lot more than your initial investment. Edit. I'd like to include this avoid confusion. I should have started with this portion. No, you cannot go pay the property tax of any building you'd like to own. You need to go through something called a tax deed sale. This is a legal process that properly transfers ownership. Typically, tax deed sales are found on your local website. Not all states offer tax deed sales. Sorry for any confusion. What compounds the insanity is the way they wrote the law to be near impossible to stop it from being ruled unconstitutional before coming in effect. Legal Eagle on YouTube did a good video breaking it down, but it's obviously a shady method the state and conservative majority Supreme Court are bending over backwards to allow. Like, regardless of your stance on abortion, that's not how you should be writing and implementing laws. If you need to make all sorts of weird provisions to avoid it being challenged for being unconstitutional, it definitely needs to be challenged to determine whether it is or not. Not in defense of anyone, but more a consideration, teens are probably the most frequent visitors to porn sites, and as such will populate most searches. Being teens, they're probably also more interested in teens than full-grown adults, or teen-looking adults. Thus, teens will search more for teens, and being the dominant population there will make teens the more frequently searched term.